Hey. Welcome to Divine Talk. I am your girl, Robin Divine, and your co-host, Anthony Wallace.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today?
Hello, once again. Today we're going to be talking about change. And Anthony, I just want to ask you a question. What does change look like to you?
Change looks uncomfortable. Uh, it can sometimes look pretty. Change can look like a lot of things. It just depends on what type of change is happening for the person and basically the circumstance or the situation that's taking place. So yeah.
When you say uncomfortable, can you share with us a little bit about what you mean when you say uncomfortable?
I mean, let's take a butterfly for instance. Like it starts off as an egg, it hatches into a caterpillar, it crawls, it eats until it gets full enough or big enough until it finally, creates a chrysalis. And as it's in that cocoon, it takes some time for it to transform into something else. So it changes as it's in it. But when it's time to come out, it has to basically wiggle its own itself out. So like that's an uncomfortable stage because if it doesn't wiggle out of that old thing, then it'll actually never, yeah, it reached a new level, but it'll actually never even be able to tap into that new level. So it's uncomfortable for it to crawl out of the cocoon, which is actually necessary for its wings to actually fully be able to be in use. So like that, yeah.
So are you saying that change comes with suffering?
Yes, it does. It comes with quite a bit of suffering, actually.
Okay. Well, let me ask this. How do one prepare in their life for change?
With that, I believe that answer could differ with every person, but from what I'm seeing is for a person to prepare for change, they have to basically go through stuff that entails that change. If you say you want growth, then put down a cigarette. But it's easier said than done. If you say you want growth, put down, like, let go of the old friends, let go of the old mindset. Like, you have to start to get ready for change. You have to actually start embodying what that change is before you even get there, as if you're already there.
Okay, so you have to go through some conditioning.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, I was just thinking about that on today. Like, what is it we're gonna talk about today? And as I was just standing in the mirror doing my hair, I thought about the word change because there is a lot of change going on, right now in life, and a lot of people wasn't prepared for the change. Some may have even thought they was prepared for the change, but a lot of people are afraid right about now with all the different changes that is going on in this world. I've been having different people reaching out to me about, the different things that is going on. And it's like they're afraid and they're beginning to walk in fear, of what they expect to happen down through the years. So walking in fear of those things that they like unexpected things, and so just thinking about change brings about a lot of suffering, even with the different things that is going on in my life now, especially me starting all over, as a cosmetologist. And I was sharing with somebody today that I had to start over so many different times, and I kind of had a little breakdown today, just thinking about all the different people I keep meeting, down through life. And it's like every time I go to something new. Well, I won't say new because I've been a cosmetologist, but I'm saying in a new environment, there is different people, there's different personalities, people are talking to you, asking questions, and sometimes I don't know how to respond. And then after I finish talking to the people, I be thinking maybe I should have said this or maybe I should have said that. And sometimes it takes a little while for me to process everything. Just like I was sharing with the lady that I called today after I had my little breakdown or whatever people want to call it. Some people may call it a meltdown. I was sharing with her that I've just, you know, been through so many things, and it's like to be entering into something different, like a different environment, it's just a lot to remember different people names, and look like most people remember my name. I don't know if it's because it's different, but when I get in these different environments, it's like, let me text myself the people's names because I don't want to offend nobody. And so it's just, I started, having a little anxiety today because there were just so many different people, I had to encounter in this salon suite that I'm in. And I'm like, okay, she said her name is this, and this one said her name is that, and this one said her name is that. And so there was a lot going on, and so do you have anything to say about the changes that is going on in your life right now?
About the changes going on in my life, just are I would say similar to yours. I've just learned how to navigate them in a certain way. Like there's a saying that says, but before a breakthrough, before basically before a breakthrough, typically a breakdown happens. Or if you're experiencing a breakdown, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. And I guess it just depends on how the person perceive it, because some people can have a breakdown and don't come out. And so it could be true, it could not be true. I guess it just depends on the person. But like the changes I'm going through right now is just like, whew, I'm doing basically I'm fundraising for a nonprofit, and um, as anything, everything sounds great when you're sitting there, when you're interviewing and everything. But like literally the past 4 days, I have driven out of town 2 hours to a town, 2 hours back, and have done that 4 days in a row. And today, I'm actually quite agitated because it's like I'm dealing with people and they're nice people, but it's like I'm having to once again maintain this high level of energy so that I can attract people so that they will donate to this cause. But it's like, okay, Lord, I want to say thank you so much, but it's like I also want to be mad at the people because it's like, hey guys, this is my first week, and you have me driving 2 hours one way and 2 hours back. I'm spending I've like in the past 4 days, I've spent 16 hours on the road, and it's like, why? Why do you want me? What do you want from me in this space when that space, and you know the practices that they practice? So I'm not like change is really very uncomfortable. Change is something that a lot of people shy from. Like a piece of me want to say, you know what, to heck with it. I don't really care. I know what I'm capable of, but like my mind, I'm thinking I'm making this much money for you. What can I do that I can do the same thing? Because I'm basically just using my gifts for you. So yeah, it's like today. Today is a day where it's like, Lord, I'm actually quite agitated. I'm like, I really don't like this. I've been on the road for 4 days. Like, if this is what traveling looks like, do I really want to do that? And then two is just like, Lord, I don't really see the benefit here, type thing. But I'm constantly in the morning telling you thank you, and I'm constantly throughout the day trying to be grateful. But it's like wear and tear does happen on a person. Um, yeah, if wearing when you have to maintain a high level of energy, that really does do something to you. And I'll tell anybody, change is not pretty. That does not mean shy away from it. But if you really want it, it ain't gonna be pretty at all. You may think it's pretty, but it's not.
And as you were saying that, I was just thinking about, I have to buy everything over, buy new shears, buy new towels, buy new just shampoo and different things. And I was out and about doing that today, and it's like oh my God, I'm doing this all over again. And I did this so many times. And I'm like, man, and then not only that, they tell you about doing social media because it's like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta have clients to work on. And so working with social media, I've been putting so much into it, like, okay, do I do this? I remember when I did it other times, people didn't respond the right way, or maybe I was sharing too much, or so I just been going through some things, trying to figure this thing out, even trying to figure the new app out, that I'm working on so that I can have my clients to book on the app. And I'm like, oh Lord, you have to upload pictures and just all the different things that you got to do. I had to come up with a price list, just so many different things. And it's like, but how bad do I want it, and I want it bad enough that I'm determined, even though, I'm going through the different changes, even though it don't feel good, but I told God, I'm like, I love doing hair. I would like to do hair again. And so it's coming with some challenges, but I thank God that, I'm able to, remain focused, even though I had a little meltdown, but I knew immediately I needed to talk to somebody. And when I talked to them, they prayed with me, and I was feeling better afterwards. But, down through the day, I got a little discouraged again, but that's going to happen. That's going to happen sometimes on a daily basis when it come down to us going through change. But like you said, it's just like the caterpillar crawling on his stomach, and going through all those things. When I see a caterpillar, I'm like, oh my God, who wants to crawl on their belly other than a snake? And I'm like, that's horrible, but the different changes that I have to go through to become a butterfly, and that's what change looks like. Change don't look good. Change don't feel good. Sometimes change don't even sound good. And a lot of times we don't understand what is going on, behind the scenes, but I do know that there is things that's going on. And as I was doing a young lady's hair yesterday, I said, man, all the changes I've been through, I've learned so much. I'm able to execute more better. And I'm like, I remember the time when I used to wouldn't turn nothing down, but I remember trying to learn how to do this certain method and this technique. And I told my daughter, I said, I don't want to learn nothing new. I said, I don't want to learn nothing new. And she said, Mama, you going to get this. And I was thinking about that yesterday while I was doing the young lady's hair. And I said, I really thank God that my daughter pushed me to learn it some years ago, because these are the new things that people are asking for. And so I do find joy in doing hair, but like I said, it's coming with some changes. It's coming with, like we was talking about last week, shift. It's coming with a lot of shifting and putting things in place. Even when I went in the salon suite, I noticed where I said, oh Lord, where am I going to put my jacket? I couldn't find a place for my jacket. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to be creative. I'm going to have to come up with what I'm going to do about hanging up jackets and doing different things. So it was like, oh, I got to buy something for that. So I went to one of the other young ladies' salon suite and asked her different things about where did she put her blow dryer and stuff. And you would think I would know this by now because I've been a cosmetologist for like 29 years. But when you go through changes and you kind of get out of something for, like I've been out of it for 2 years, it's like you got to figure it out again. And so, do you have anything to say?
Ooh, no, with that one, I was about to say, I can kind of relate, simply because like I literally just left some type of thing where basically it was like sales, so I'm just like right back in the same environment. Just get to travel around, so it's all. I'm just learning their system now, and it's not something. It's interesting, but hmm, I'm just trying to be grateful. The door was open. God opened the door. I desire to be grateful to Him. I just sometimes it's like, Lord, why is Lord? It seems like you have me doing the most uncomfortable stuff, like I could be riding with my director, but yet you have someone training me who doesn't have a car, and I've had to use my car the whole time. And it's kind of frustrating because it's like, hey, I'm not being reimbursed for any of this. So it's like, Lord, I can't blame them, but and I can't blame you, but I'm just trying to understand, like, what are you doing in this? Yes, the numbers have been great. Yes, they've been loving it, awesome, but it's like, Lord, it's at my expense though. And it's like, I just seem like a lot of my life really is like it's at my expense. Other people may experience that too, and they may not just talk about it, but a lot of my life has seemed like I'm coming out of stuff at basically I'm experiencing stuff at my expense, and it's the benefit of other people. And it's like I'm really, even if change entails that, I'm tired of being the benefit for other people. Even learning all that, it's like, Lord, like, oh, shoot, this might sound selfish. Is there some people that can benefit me? They can pour into me, that can lift me up, that could carry me along. But anyways, like, yeah, it's a bit weighty with whatever it is that change entails. And and every time I experience stuff like this, I see why people stay in the most mediocre lives, because they don't have to grow. They don't have to do any more than what's expected of them. They don't have to basically be accountable for nothing. So
Well, I'm glad you sharing your frustrations, and I just want to say this for everybody that's listening. You know, it's good that he's feeling like this, and I could hear it in your voice when you first got on, and I'm thinking, oh, we on a podcast, but it do not change, you know, how you feel. But I'm glad we talking about this because as many people feel like that, you know, when they're going through changes. Because, like I said, I was feeling like that earlier today, even when I went to go find something that I can hang on the wall in the salon suite so that I can put my jacket and different things on. I was fixing to get something and try to figure it out. And it was like, do you get enough of trying to improvising? And so I just was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get anything in the store. I'm just gonna leave everything in the store and I will figure this out later, you know. And I just was like, man, sometimes you get tired, you know. But y'all, as we talking, it's not like we're trying to rant. This is something that people go through. These are things that people go through that they never show you that they're going through. But I didn't know it was gonna go this way. But I know it came to me tonight to talk about change. And when you're going through changes, it's like I said earlier, it's not gonna feel good. Sometimes you're gonna even want to give up. You know, sometimes you're gonna want to throw in the towel. You know, but if you could just keep your focus, you know, on what it is that you have before you, the things that you, the goals or the different things that you're trying to accomplish. You know, you can continue to push on. You know, sometimes you may have to talk to somebody. You may have to get some wise counsel. You may need to talk to your mentor. You may need to talk to a coach. You're somebody to coach you, help coach you through it. But change don't feel good, you know. And a lot of times people do throw up their hands and say, you know what, I don't want any more of this. I can't take it no more. You know, I've done enough. You know, and so how many of you are out there feeling like this? So many of you may even be going through the same things. Like, okay, I've been doing this, I've been starting over so many times. It's just like one of my sons, you know, when he was growing up, I noticed that every morning he would be changing clothes so many different times. And I started getting frustrated with him. And I was like, why are you changing clothes before you go to school? And it was like he couldn't leave to go to school because he was studying changing clothes. And he told me, he said, Mom, we done moved so many times. It's like I'm confused. I don't know what to do. And I told him, I said, how do you think I feel? I said, I feel the same way. I was like, the movement, I didn't try to make it happen. It just happened. You know, us moving different places and just things would just happen sometimes beyond our control, you know. And so I just to think about that, how, you know, it even changes your children's lives when you're going through so many different changes and stuff. But we're gonna have to go through change, and we're gonna be anything great or do anything great. We're gonna have to go through changes. It's not gonna be easy. The millionaires will never tell you that it was easy of them becoming millionaires or becoming wealthy. You know, I even often see people that grow watermelons and different produce sitting out in the back of their trucks in the sun in the heat of the day, waiting on somebody to come to buy to purchase a watermelon. And it lets me know that they are determined, you know. And I'm like, man, you just never know what the people have to go through so that they can become financially stable. So we have to realize one thing in this life, that we're going to go through some changes. It's just how we go through it when we're going through the changes. Don't get stuck. I could have got stuck today. I could have been whining and complaining all day. I could have made everybody around me miserable because of the change that I'm going through. But I did not get stuck because I know that greater is coming. You know, greater is coming. You know, I did one person here yesterday. I got somebody to do tomorrow. And then today, somebody booked on the app for the first time. And so that means I'm progressing. I'm further along than I was yesterday. So I just wanted to talk about change on tonight. Anthony, do you have anything else to say?
Not to that extent. I'm here along for the ride, joining you. Change is a great topic because it seems like a lot of people are going through it, whether we are aware or not. And it's really a process, that I can say.
Yes, and we I pray that you feel better next time, and I pray that everything begin to open up to you, you know, of what this change is about. You know, just like you were saying, it seemed like you just keep getting connected to sales jobs, you know, and so you may need to figure out, what is it? Is it something great in it? You know, that this keep happening? That's really basically learning to be an entrepreneur, you know, being your own boss one day. And so I can't say what it may mean to you, but anybody out there that's going through some change, just know that change must happen, and that you must go through suffering. You must go through pain. It is not going to feel comfortable, you know, when you're trying to reach something higher. And so I don't have anything else to say on this podcast, but just in case you have not liked, shared, and subscribed, please do so for us so that we can continue to share what it is that's on our heart so that it can help people. So we close out tonight, you know, just saying be blessed, have a prosperous rest of your day. And until next time, this is Divine Talk. Goodbye.